biggest YouTuber in the world, MrBeast, just posted a video of him digging 100 wells in Africa. And I got to say, as an African myself, I'm not impressed because I am sick and tired of watching these palm-colored influencers using African villages as a stage for their white savior propaganda.
Okay, so as you can see from that first clip, we got a lot to talk about. And today we're going to be talking about MrBeast. Now, I'm sure many of you know who MrBeast is. He is the biggest YouTube creator on the platform, over 200 million subscribers. And his content ranges from a lot of varieties and categories, from reaction to gaming. But he's most well known for, I'd say, his elaborate videos where he pumps a lot of money into them. He'll, remake the Willy Wonka factory and have somebody win that, or he'll make 50 people stay in a place for 100 days, and the longest lasting person will, gain a large amount of money. But as of lately, he's been doing a little bit more philanthropic videos or charitable videos. And the first one he did was curing 1,000 people of their blindness.
She's just one of 1,000 blind people we helped from around the world.
They can't see, but we have all the technology to fix it.
Yep, half of all the blindness in the world is people who need a 10-minute surgery.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Now in that video, he's trying to emphasize that a simple 10-minute procedure can help a vast majority of people. And it's not very expensive, yet most people can't afford it due to, not having health care or this and that. And he didn't just help people in the United States, he traveled, around the world, as he points out.
So not only are we helping people here in America, but we're also going to other places around the world.
Because unfortunately, nearly half the population with curable blindness doesn't have access to this surgery. So I wanted to provide this to as many people as possible.
Now, after this video, he started garnishing a lot of hate. And a lot of people were saying, he's just using these people to gain more money. He doesn't really care about them, yada, yada. And yes, obviously, MrBeast does make a lot of money off these videos, as he's the most famous YouTuber on the platform. However, he's made many videos or expressed it many times that all the money that he does garner, he basically pumps right back into his channel so that he can make bigger and better quality videos. And after he made this 1,000 blind people, he made 1,000 deaf people that he went out and helped.
But they are only a few of the 1,000 people that we are going to help here again today. We got our hands on over $3 million of cutting-edge hearing technology that, unlike old hearing aids, analyzes people's specific hearing needs, allowing them to hear again without causing any damage.
Can you hear me talking now?
Yes.
Oh my God. Wait, he can hear.
Now in that video, not only did he help people in the United States, I believe he also helped some families in Mexico who couldn't afford this kind of a treatment or these kind of hearing devices. And again, typical backlash that he got. Oh, you're just using these people, yada, yada. Well, as of recently, he just released a latest video where he built 100 wells in Africa. And within 1 hour of releasing that video, it already had garnished 5 million views. But we're going to finish watching the rest of that clip before we continue.
Issues like poverty, disease, and bad drinking water are not exclusive to African regions. Flint, Michigan is a good example of an American city that got all three of those things. But MrBeast made the intentional choice to go to an African village to make a big show of his great humanitarianism. Why? Because Western society is so conditioned to thinking of the entire continent of Africa as being beneath them that they will see no problem with people like MrBeast exploiting the images of children for financial gain and for an ego boost. And I know in his heart he thinks he's doing the right thing, but with as big of a platform as he has, he's actually propagating imagery that says Western society is higher, African society is lower, and they need our help. And if history has told us anything, we know for a fact that your help doesn't help.
Now that guy is obviously very, animated, very angry, very heated about the situation. Yet it doesn't seem like he's in a place that has problems with their drinking water. Now, he does mention Flint, Michigan. That's a great example of a place that does need help and does have poor water and quality of water. However, throughout MrBeast's video, you see that there's a vast population in Africa that don't have clean drinking water. So to compare one place in the US versus many places in Africa, I think him helping out the many places in Africa outweigh that one place in Michigan. Now, pushing that aside, he goes on to talk about how he's using these children in his video to profit off them. Yet if you were to ask these children, I'm sure that they would tell you that they were more than happy to have MrBeast do this. As you can clearly see, they all now have clean, proper drinking water, which is something a lot of these places don't have, as this teacher explains here.
One of the teachers showed me where the students currently get their water, which is from this river. That's extremely unsafe to drink.
This is where your students used to get water from?
Yes.
This is crazy.
Yeah. You know, students complaining of diarrhea, infections like typhoid, because this is the water we've been using. So we try to treat, but you see, look at it, you know, but at the end of the day, life has to move on. You have to get some water anyway.
Now, not only is the water bad quality, as the teacher pointed out, in some other places of Africa, it takes a very long time to get to the water source that is clean, as you can see in this part of his video.
But then when we flew out to the side of the 45th well, we realized this community had it even harder. Every time they need to get water, they need to take a treacherous mile-long hike through the jungle. And that mile-long hike also happens to be on a giant mountain.
I wake up very early, about 4 o'clock, so that I can fetch water for the school.
We are not safe fetching water here. That place is very slippery. Chances of getting an injury is very high.
Now, that all being said, this article that was written 2 days ago, goes on to talk about MrBeast making this video and all that stuff. However, this section of the article says Donaldson, which is MrBeast's last name, 10-minute video also showed him donating supplies to Kenyan schools, such as new furniture, soccer balls, computers, whiteboards, and projectors, building a bridge across a river to safely connect a village with the local schools and hospital, as well as donating bikes to a village in Zimbabwe to help children get to school. Sounds all great to me. I don't see there being any problems with that. I'm sure all of those people appreciated it, especially this bridge that is in the video. Looks very rickety, very dangerous. They talked about, they've already had deaths from people getting swept up in the currents when the currents are rough. But right here, it says, prominent activist Boniface Mwangi contrasted Donaldson's actions with those of the Kenyan government, saying that we are a shameful, horrible country, a begging nation governed by millionaires. He added on X, formerly known as Twitter, every 5 years we give newly elected members of parliament and senators a $5 million car grant, 33,000, fuel those cars every month, but we have no money to drill boreholes for our people. That's a great point. And MrBeast also points that out in his video towards the end, again stating that somebody like him shouldn't be the one that should be doing this. It should be the government. However, that's not happening. But again, everybody wants to get upset because he's a white guy helping out black people or Africans. It's like, well, would you be okay if it was a black person or an African person doing this? Would that be would this all of a sudden not be an issue that, all these villages and places got 100 wells? Is the sole reason you don't want these wells to be highlighted is because a white person did it? Because if this 20-something-year-old kid who has access to large swaths of money is able to do this, why wouldn't you be asking, how come any of these high-profile black celebrities, if the white person is the issue, how come any of these high-profile black celebrities aren't doing this? Like a Beyonce or a Jay-Z or a Kevin Hart, any of these multi-millionaire, Dr. Dre, billionaire black people, how come you're not asking them, how come they're not drilling wells? Or you yourself, if you're saying you're an African, go and help drill some wells. But that's probably because you live in a place that has running clean water. Now, one individual that I came across on X, who has a big problem with MrBeast here, he himself is from Ghana and posted things like disrespectful MrBeast 100 wells in Africa is an insult to Africans. Again, he writes, MrBeast wells is disrespectful to Africans. He describes the entire Africa as a village with its people living in huts. He does not. He projected all of Africans lack good drinking water. He did not. Wells in 2023 is offensive. Why not boreholes or pipe-borne water? So this guy has a problem First of all, with him drilling 100 wells, but then states, if you're gonna do the wells, why don't you do the boreholes? Which again, this article says, but they have apparently no money to drill boreholes for their people. Now, as he continues to complain, Africans do not need water donation. We ain't that poor and thirsty. Yet again, you see the drinking condition of all the water throughout that video. You see these people super excited when this clean, fresh water is gushing out and they have a fresh tap right in their own village. They don't have to go miles away.
Combined, these 100 wells are going to give around 500,000 people fresh water to drink.
Africa is a continent of 54 countries. He must be specific where he went. He does. He points out in the video where he goes from point to point. It's like this guy didn't even watch the video. This is capitalism. He want to low-key use these countries for profit. He has set Africans for global ridicule by building wells we never asked for him for. Like, you can't make this up. I'm sure these people have been begging for clean drinking water. Do you think these people want to not have clean water to drink? And sure, they may have not asked MrBeast specifically, but that doesn't mean he as an individual can't do what he can to help somebody. Now, the greatest part of his post is that the community notes on Twitter, or X, said he described certain villages as containing huts, which is true. He projected that many Africans lack safe drinking water, which is factual at 29%. Well is an easier term to understand than borehole or pipe-borne water. Again, he specified what countries he went to when he moved. They quote that him saying that this is capitalism and he wants to low-key off the profits. This is speculation. And him saying this has set Africans to global ridicule. No, he has not. I just don't understand. He's doing a good thing. He even says in the end of his video that all the money that he's making from this video is going back into his philanthropy business to then start building more wells around the globe wherever it's needed. He never specifically said they would just be in Africa. He actually says he's going around the globe. But, I mean, people apparently just like to be angry. Somebody does a good thing, you shit on it. And the fact that his race and his skin color was so perpetuated throughout all of these different people's talking points, it's like, so what if he's white? He's helping out people. Again, if he was black, would that change everything? Would then it be totally fine that he did all of this? But as always, love to hear from you guys. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.